Our speaker today is Mollie. Mollie is the Director of Partner Development for the Executive Service Corps of the Triangle. Mollie has over 13 years of sales and account management experience in the human resources service industry. Prior to that, she worked for 2 environmental services firms in marketing and community outreach. Her charge includes developing relationships with and connecting local nonprofits to ESC's consulting services and programs. Mollie's experience with nonprofit organizations include the Junior Leagues in Seattle and Raleigh, along with other community, school, and faith-based organizations. She currently serves on the board of Wade Edwards Learning Lab in Raleigh. She has experience with grant writing, donor fund development, project management, volunteer management, and board leadership. Mollie received her bachelor's degree in English and Communication Arts from Spring Hill College in Mobile, Alabama. And she also, in her communication, when we first met, she said she went to Raleigh when she was in high school. So, very excellent. So, that's what Mom.
Thanks for having me here. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Yeah, I was actually telling them earlier that the last time I spoke at a Rotary was in 1983 when I was a junior in high school at my dad's Mississippi Rotary Club, and it was about my trip to Europe, my class trip to Europe. So you can see that they were probably really desperate for speaking engagements. And then I think I had to go back the next year and do about my Rotary leadership weekend. Fast forward to today, and I am here to talk to you about nonprofit board service, kind of the hows and the whys of board service. And before I get into that, I do want to take a couple of minutes to tell you about Executive Service Corps of the Triangle. We do call it ESC. We are a nonprofit as well. We provide affordable consulting services to other nonprofits. Our services are delivered via consultants who work pro bono. And the reason that we're able to keep our pricing affordable is because of the pro bono work that these consultants do. A lot of these consultants have retired. Many have retired at a young age and do consulting work on their own. Many have retired, and just passing out the sandwich at a nonprofit really wasn't fulfilling enough for them. Many have come from corporate America. Others have also come from running very large nonprofit organizations, but they're basically very passionate about their community. As far as really the services that ESC provides, we provide services that help the organization strengthen internally in order for them to go out and provide stronger services externally. And those are kind of in the areas, I feel like I'm cutting y'all off over here. Can you see? Okay. Board development, board and staff retreat facilitation, guided organizational assessments. That's just basically looking at strengths and challenges within organizations. Strategic planning, basically helping nonprofits think a little bit more toward the future as opposed to just today. Coaching, be that executive directors, a rising star in an organization, a board chair. Communications and marketing, just making sure nonprofits are getting their message out. Financial assessment, collaborations, opportunities. That's how they can work with other nonprofits. Be that on people, programs, board matching and development. We do a lot of work, and that's kind of where you all come in with individuals. As far as the first one, speed dating kind of is what it is. Several times a year, we hold events where we invite 10 nonprofits and around 20 individuals to come to an event that's timed. The individuals go around to each of the tables, learn about the nonprofits. At the end of the hour-and-a-half session, the nonprofits rank which individuals they would be interested in. At the same time, individuals rank which nonprofits they would be interested in. We get that information out to the nonprofits, and it's up to the nonprofits to then turn around, contact those individuals, and the vetting process begins from there. So we're just kind of doing the first level matchmaking, if you will. Board leadership development, it is a series of 6 leadership sessions developed and delivered by ESC consultants that we do over a 3-month period. That's anything about running effective meetings, board governance, keeping your board safe, financial leadership. We're currently halfway through a board leadership session. We've got 2 board members from 12 local nonprofits going through that program. Build a Better Board, I'll get to that in a minute. That is a free website that was developed by ESC consultants that was rolled out in July, and it is a platform for matching individuals interested in board service with local nonprofits.
Where does speed dating come into that?
So speed dating is really more, that's an in-person event where you actually, where the Build a Better Board is an online website, and you would go in and you would register your profile, and then you would be able to search the other nonprofits, where speed dating is a one-on-one. Is that?
You're not thinking of speed dating like boy and girl, you're thinking. Is that what you're thinking?
Sorry about that.
He's thinking matchmaking relationship.
Yeah.
So it is matchmaking, but it's matchmaking between individuals interested in board service. Okay, moving on. So the NC Center for Nonprofits comes out with some very interesting statistics. As you will see, there are a lot of nonprofits in the Triangle. And there are a lot of nonprofits that need board members. And we did a poll a couple of months ago with some of the nonprofits that we work with. 10 of the 13 nonprofits do have millennial representation. And I just say this because I feel like a lot of millennials think, I don't have the skills to do this, I don't have the money to donate to an organization. Organizations really want millennial support as well as other individuals. And as Rotarians, you all know the vital role that nonprofits play in your community. I commend your club. I look online, I can see what nonprofits you all support, both locally and nationally. We've had the privilege to work with Stop Hunger Now, Triangle Literacy Council, and Read and Feed. So now we go to why join a board. And before I go into this, if I could see a show of hands of how many individuals currently serve or have served on a nonprofit board. Wow. And if a couple of people just want to shout out experiences that you've had with that.
I have a question. Does this include churches?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I served on United Funds for Your area, and we would just designate now a certain United Ways organization that's got to earmark money to the community.
And did you have a positive experience with it?
Yes, really, it was a terrific experience.
Okay, great. Anybody in here, gosh, there would just be a couple left, I think, that would be interested in serving on a board? Okay, forget it, because I'm going to keep telling you.
I noticed something in the newspaper last weekend. Most of us probably think that most of the people in the workforce are probably baby boom generation. In fact, millennials in the workforce exceed the number of baby boomers in the workforce.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. So there would be a lot, so in fact, if you're looking for board members, statistically, you've got more millennials out there available than baby boomers.
You know, and then, great point, but at the same time, I think organizations need individuals that come from many levels of experience, and then they also need individuals that probably have a lot more life experience, and a lot of times, those individuals have more time to give back to the community, as a millennial have more limited time to give back. So I won't spend much time on this, as you clearly know, white individuals usually join boards is for community service. What's your motto? Service above self. Building a resume. There's statistics about LinkedIn surveys. 20% of hiring managers say they hire candidates because of their volunteer experience. 41% consider volunteer experience just as valuable as paid work experience. You can always learn new skills, meet great people, and most people seem to serve on organizations that speak to their heart, or maybe it's an organization that has impacted them personally and they want to support a cause. I'll go through these. Y'all can read these as far as key questions to consider. Is the organization interesting? Do they align with your goals? Can I make an impactful contribution to this organization? Am I committed to the mission of an organization? I heard a woman speak not long ago who said she was recruited for an animal rescue nonprofit. She was recruited by one of her friends, and she said she got on the board, she went to a couple of meetings, and she realized, what am I doing here? This isn't even a passion of mine. I did this because a friend of mine said, why don't you do this? And she said, I resigned from the board because that was not my passion. And I think a lot of times individuals are recruited through friends and family, and they don't really do enough due diligence. Am I prepared to commit the time required to be an effective board member? Oh, sorry, yes.
Yeah, how many of these boards expect board members to be a big financial contributor?
Thank you for that question, and I am about to answer it right here. Thank you so much for asking that, because it is a very big question. And it's definitely one that individuals need to ask up front while they're vetting the organization as well. As far as time commitments, those all differ by organization, but most organizations will be able to and should tell you that if you ask them. Usually 4 to 6 hours a month, 60 to 100 hours a year, that's average, with board terms being 1 to 3 years. And then you can also have extensions to that. Am I required to raise money? Can or will I do this? Some boards ask for a specific donation amount. Others don't ask for a specific donation amount. They will just say, I want our board to be 100% giving, but they will not specify an amount. They say give what you feel you can give. Others ask you to give time versus treasure. Some ask you to give or get it from others. All things to ask them up front. Just like corporations, nonprofits have life cycles. You've got, it was interesting, Jason asked me earlier, because I was saying that we're marketing our Build a Better Board to a lot of corporations, and he said, well, don't corporations, isn't that for their high-level executives? And I said, interestingly enough, their high-level executives are usually placed at the nonprofits that their corporations support. It's kind of the mid-level managers and the staff members that have a lot to give, that smaller nonprofits need their time, because in smaller nonprofits, as in stage one, it's like an entrepreneurial startup company. That's a working board. I mean, there are board members who are doing work that in a more mature organization, your staff members would be doing. And so I think it's less likely to have a senior executive that would be in that position as opposed to stage 3, where you're going towards more what you call a policy board, where it's oversight, and that's kind of maybe where you see individuals that have less time. Key tasks in nonprofit boards, probably a lot of things that you all know. I think a lot of people forget that what a very large responsibility it is, and it is their responsibility to select, support, evaluate, hire, and fire an executive director. And then some individuals will start out and they'll work on a committee. Committees serve as great pipelines for individuals that would like to serve on boards. It's a great way for you to get in, see how the organization is run, great way for them to see how you operate. More key tasks as far as financial oversight, policies, recruiting new board members, and basically ensuring just overall organizational planning and that the organization has the adequate resources that they need, from pencils to people. These are definitely questions that a lot of people probably never ask before they go into it, and it's definitely ones that should be asked. How are your payables? Do you have D&O, directors and officers liability policies? A lot of people don't understand that as a board member, they're liable. Search the internet, GuideStar. It definitely gives a snapshot of organizations. You can go on and look at their 990s. It gives you a snapshot into their financial stability. Ask to attend a board meeting. And at the board meeting, was it organized? Was the board engaged? Request minutes from past meetings. You can read articles of their corporation and their bylaws. These are kind of the whys and the whats. Now for how to find a board position. We talked earlier, a lot of it is through friends and family, ESC of the Triangle, via a network of our consultants, has developed a free web-based service that matches area nonprofits with individuals that are interested in board service. This, like I say, was developed internally, and it was funded by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. It was rolled out in July. Triangle Business Journal featured us in their philanthropy section in September. To date, we have 75 current board openings, 86 nonprofits that are registered in our system, 7 board matches, which might not sound a lot, but by the time that they start the interest on the website and then they take it offline, they're going to have phone calls. Well, if they're smart about it, they're going to have phone calls, they're going to have meetings, they're going to have other board members meet with these prospective board members, and so it takes a while.
Can you mention any of the openings that you currently have? Is that anything else?
Great question. It's my next slide. I have a teaser for you. Yeah. So basically, we're at the point right now where we're continually educating individuals. We have about 150 individuals that are registered for the site, but this is our push now. When we rolled out the site, it was kind of hard before the horse. We couldn't really market it to individuals because if we did, they went in, there were no nonprofits, there were no board openings, they probably wouldn't come back to the site. So it's been a painful couple of months. Now we're kind of on track. So now we're in the process, and Jason kindly agreed to let me come speak. Rotary clubs, other places you all really are into community service. These are great places to hit for you to be able to go back to corporations, to your friends, family members, to talk about the service, which is free. It takes a couple of minutes to create your profile. You can go in and indicate your passion areas, youth, animals, environment, arts, etc. And then you search board openings. And it's really something that has to be interactive. If there's a position that you're interested in, you can't really wait for the nonprofit to come to you. I mean, you have to reach out to the nonprofit and you need to go back into the site to see what new openings have come. And we've noticed that with the successful board openings, that's what's happened. It's been proactive on both ends. And now, I just pulled some of the current board openings from the site. I try to kind of do it in different areas. Wake County Senior Games, it's an organization that promotes fitness and friendship to residents that are 50 years or older in Wake County, and it's very interesting and exciting. We're doing some work with Senior Games right now as ESC. They're about to go through a visioning process, and it's kind of an exciting time. They've had a couple of new board members join. North Carolina Sustainable. Oh, and then underneath it, these are the areas that they've indicated that they would like skill sets with individuals with these skill sets. So that's what falls underneath that. North Carolina Sustainable Energy Association. It's an advocacy organization promoting clean energy, jobs, and affordable energy. Carolina Veterans Group. It's an advocacy group for senior citizens, senior veterans, Girls on the Run, that's a pretty mature organization, inspiring young girls to be confident through a curriculum which involves exercise. American Lung Association, that's mature. Bridge to Sports, that's a local organization that educates, develops, and implements opportunities for youth and adults with disabilities to play adaptive sports. Completely cool organization. Is that my time? Triangle Bike Works. It's a program or a nonprofit that promotes youth cycling. These are kind of just a taste of some of the openings in our system. There's also a resource section in the system that helps individuals better understand roles and responsibilities and best practices of being a board member. I'll end with a quote by Winston Churchill that a lot of you probably heard. You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give. I'd love to answer any questions.
So I'm trying to look at your website on my phone, and I'm seeing for nonprofits there's find individuals, serve, resources, learn. But if I were inclined to sign up, I'd want to know about these board openings and things before I lay myself out there. Is that one of the resources on here to know?
To get a sneak.
Might be looking.
Unfortunately, right now, to have access to what nonprofits are in there, you'd have to create a profile. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as a solution, you might want to say, after being in business for a little while, here are 12 examples of nonprofits we've worked with. Because otherwise, as Greg said, they may just pass you right by and say, well, I have no idea.
The only response I have is we do we have Build a Better Board social media, and we put on our Twitter and different things, we will give snapshots of some of the openings via social media. Good point. Try to figure out.
One more question. Go ahead.
You talked about 2,200 nonprofit boards that are probably in the region, and I'm sure that a lot of those are very small nonprofits, and I'm also assuming that a good number of them have very similar missions and goals. Does ESC have any policy about working with the actual nonprofits to maybe get them to merge, combine, or to use their resources and their assets in a little better way?
Yeah, we facilitated a merger last year between two nonprofits that had similar missions. But how that has to occur is we really can't go to them to say, okay, I think you and you need, that's something that they have to come to us and say, and we do mergers, and we have done several as one of our consulting services. Now, the one thing, because we have quite a snapshot of a lot of nonprofits in the area, if we are meeting with one, like I'm constantly trying to say, hey, you know about so-and-so. So it's that we do more of that just as a gracious service as opposed to a formal. And that would really have to, there's a lot of emotions that come around, just like corporate mergers. So it kind of has to be driven by them.
If there are any other questions, hopefully you will stay for a few minutes afterwards. We've got a couple of things for you. A few things for you. Thank you for speaking with us. And we will also get those in your honor to the council. And one more task for you, get a draw and see if our ballot. And the last four.
9540. 9540.
Jerry back.
Jerry, all right. Here we go again. Please, for this group, there are four, about 40.
You got the big one. All right.
That's $72.
Great. Next week's program is Now Hear This. And the last thing we've got is a 4-way tennis